Imagine if you could be vaccinated for acne just like measles or rubella, and it worked. Millions of adolescents would be very grateful and billions of dollars would change hands. However, there's a huge investment risk involved in the development of any breakthrough medication, but the rewards can be huge.
We're testing a new drug for osteoporosis. It's very similar to vitamin D. It's been altered slightly to try and improve on vitamin D.
Now, how many blood tests will there be?
It takes about 15 years and $1 billion to get a new drug to market. And it's a race. If the release of a drug is delayed, it can cost the pharmaceutical company $1 million a day. Dr. Sean Holt wants to help some of these companies win the race. He's just formed P3 Research after abandoning similar university-based work.
I found it bureaucratic and political, and therefore I decided to leave and form my own place.
P3 specialises in fast clinical trials.
And then I'll get you to blow it into the tube.
Okay. Ready?
Okay, just blow into it. Great. And it shows that you're smoke-free at the moment.
Smoke-free?
Tanya Holkamo is trialling Zyban, an antidepressant that surprised even its creators by helping people stop smoking too. Māori women have the highest rate of smoking in the world.
Why did I want to give up? My kids, my sons. Yeah, once they start giving up on you, then, yeah, there's something wrong there.
The drug companies and consumers are keen to get such drugs quickly onto the market, and fast-tracked clinical trials are a bonus for MedSafe, the government agency that has to approve them for general use.
It can take MedSafe up to 1.5 years to approve a new drug for the general public. This is just a small application. These boxes contain the results of clinical trials, like those conducted by P3 Research.
But P3 feels the government could do more to make fast-tracking for new businesses a lot faster.
I would have liked tax cuts, tax breaks to start with. That would have been really useful so we can reinvest any profits back into the business. And certainly easier employment law terms. We found that very tricky.
As a result, Holt still has very few local customers. One of them, Genesis Research, says it's an industry with huge potential.
This is the century of science and technology, and it's going to be the century of businesses that grow out from this. So if we're going to grow as a country, it's very simple. We have to capture people and we have to capture business in this area.
Genesis is a gene research company that builds databases of DNA.
We search the databases for genes that have value. In the health area, they would be genes that help you understand diseases like psoriasis or eczema or asthma.
P3 Research is conducting the clinical trials for Genesis's new eczema vaccine.
The goal is to develop a vaccine and release it into the global market.
A global market where 99 out of 100 drugs fail at some stage in development. But those that do make it onto pharmacy shelves are a potential gold mine. Sarah Bradley, 3 News.
First tonight's surprise revelations that most New Zealanders with asthma are suffering needlessly.
A new study finds they're not controlling the disease properly, not taking the drugs that'll help them most. The study says they're putting up with unpleasant symptoms that can be treated with new medicines, which are commonly used overseas. But doctors claim tight controls by the government drug agency Pharmac are making matters worse. Penny Deans has the story.
1 in 6 New Zealanders has asthma. But a new study's found few of them are controlling it properly.
Around 70% of adults and 40% of children had a great deal of asthma symptoms, and this was surprising. It was much more than we thought we may find.
Today, GPs whose patients took part in the study were in Wellington to hear the results. Many say asthmatics put up with unpleasant symptoms that can be treated.
Shortness of breath, on exercise, waking at night coughing, waking at night short of breath. Especially those nighttime symptoms do indicate moderate or moderately severe asthma.
I guess people have lived with it for a long time, and they may be not aware that there are new medications these days which can certainly take a lot of these symptoms away.
The study's funded by a drug company, but run by independent researchers. Only 5% of those it studied were taking the new generation combination asthma drugs.
In Australia, the UK, the US, these combinations, it's almost standard treatment, whereas in New Zealand it's pretty rare.
the new drugs cost more, but it's claimed they save money by keeping asthmatics at work and at school rather than at home or in hospital.
The medications have been shown to be cost-effective by health policy analysts and economists.
Doctors, though, have to follow tight pharmac rules to prescribe the combination drugs.
A lot of the GPs either don't understand or they don't have the time to comply with these regulations.
And doctors find patients used to just using blue puffers for relief resist taking preventive medicine.
To ask someone then to take a puffer morning and night every day in place of or to help your asthma really is a lot to ask.
It's a big ask, but one that may help sufferers to get more from their medication. Penny Deans, One News.
A call for new combination asthma drugs to be more freely available is not finding favour with the government drug agency. A new study suggests many New Zealand asthmatics put up with unpleasant symptoms which could be treated with new medicines used overseas. But Pharmac says the new drugs are more expensive and not necessarily any better. Penny Deans reports.
Few New Zealand asthmatics are on the new generation combination drugs like Symbicort, even though they're standard elsewhere.
Most researchers around the world are saying that everyone but the mildest of people with asthma should be on a combination therapy, which is 2 drugs in one inhaler.
One reason is that Pharmac makes prescribing the combination drugs difficult.
All takes time and trouble and it's confusing.
They are controlled. We do insist that they should be targeted carefully to those who need them.
Pharmac spends more than $35 million a year on asthma drugs. It already funds the 2 separate components, a long-term reliever and a long-term preventer, and is not convinced combining them in one puffer is better.
These drugs are more expensive, and we have the individual drugs there already. So if we're going to fund these drugs, we need proof that, in fact, that the combination therapy creates better control, and we also want to have it at an acceptable price.
A new report says most Kiwi asthmatics put up with unpleasant symptoms needlessly. The key message, Pharmac says, is that they tend to rely too much on their blue puffers to relieve symptoms, when they should be routinely using their brown or orange preventive puffers, even when they feel well.
The really important thing for all asthmatics is that they use long-term preventers and they use them in the right doses.
The advice for asthmatics worried about their medication is see your doctor. Penny Deans, One News.